Breakups are often the symptom of problems in a relationship. My workbook series, The Knowledge, is focused on helping you change your life in 4 key areas: retaining the information that I teach, personal growth, improving your relationships, and of course, re-attracting your ex. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about my friends and family tell me to move on. Well, obviously when you're going through a breakup, you are just filled with a ton of different emotions and you're completely overwhelmed. You're anxious, you're sad, you're scared, maybe even terrified, you're confused, you're hurt, you're angry. And all of these emotions are going to go all through your body constantly, different waves of energy. And they're going to be so overwhelming that it can really get just confusing and just intense, right? You might have tremendous amounts of guilt. You may be feeling depressed. I completely understand because I've felt all of that and I've gone through all of that. And so I know how bad it can be and how intense, and the physical pain, right? You really have physical pain in your body, and people can get it in different places. Some people get like migraines and headaches. For me, I had this intense pain where it really just felt like someone ripped my heart out of my chest every day. Just felt like I had a cavity where my heart used to be, and just it was so intense, and it just hurt me so much that literally nothing made that pain go away. It was so bad. I was depressed, and you know, one of the things that your ex may do is make you feel guilty about the breakup, and then when they do, and you feel like it's all your fault, then it's just so much worse, right? If it wasn't bad enough, but then you're like, oh my gosh, this is all my fault. I've done this. I've destroyed our relationship. It can get really bad. So, when your friends and your family see you going through this, they feel terrible. They care about you. They love you. They don't want to see you going through this. And so, when you're talking to them about the situation, it can be a lot for them too, right? Because what happens is they don't know your relationship like you do, okay? They didn't live it, they didn't experience it, they were only an outsider as to what was going on between you two. But when you're telling them what happened and they're seeing how bad you're hurting, or how bad things look, or how bad your ex's behavior has become all of a sudden, where this person that was such a great partner for you for so long all of a sudden looks terrible, they could be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They get upset and they get angry. And you got to keep in mind several things, okay? Because if you're listening to your friends and your family, they can't be objective, especially if they knew you more than they knew your ex. Like maybe you were friends with the ex and they're just a friend through you, or your family obviously is going to be more on your side. So when they hear the story, it's going to come from you. It's only one-sided. And when they hear what your ex has done, because a lot of times our ex can be rude or dismissive or cruel to us in a breakup, especially if we don't hear what they have to say, right? And we don't respect their boundaries. But your friends and your family are going to be on your side, and they're going to start to villainize your ex. Oh, I can't believe that. They'll start to call him names. They'll start to attack the character. And none of this is going to help you to try and repair their relationship, right? So you got to keep that in mind, that if they get involved somehow or make the situation worse, it's only going to decrease the opportunities that come with trying to repair this, okay? You got to realize that people don't understand breakups. They're very confusing, and it took me years and years and years to figure breakups out because they're so complicated and there's so much to learn. And once I really understood attachment and learned about all the issues with attachment and attachment trauma and attachment styles, I was able to piece it together much easier. So your friends and family don't understand breakups because they don't really understand relationships. They don't understand it like I do, or Margaret does, where she's got 35 years of experience as a brilliant clinician. I mean, she's taught me so much over the years. And I've used all that, incorporated that in my education into what I teach and putting this stuff together. Obviously, you guys know that, and you see the differences in what we teach. But you go to your friends and your family because you're so upset and you just don't know how to deal with these emotions and hurt. But you go to them and the answers that they give you, they're going to, in many cases, make your situation worse. And I'm not trying to knock them, it's just that they don't understand it, right? Like if you're having a problem with your tooth, you go to a dentist. You don't go to your friends and your family and say, can you fix my tooth? Or a doctor. You go to the doctor if you're having a health problem. You don't ask your friends or your family. Why? Because they don't understand it. And so you got to be careful here, because they're coming from a different place. And a lot of times they don't understand what you're going through because maybe they've forgotten what it's like to go through a breakup, and probably so, because I don't think you can really remember that pain if you dismiss this or pushed it aside, right? So they're going to probably dismiss how you feel. And a lot of times your friends and family will be like, oh, you just have to move on. You know, you just got to forget about that person. Just don't think about him anymore. You know, I never liked him anyway, or this or that. And they're just going to tell you, move on. It's fine. You'll find somebody better. And they mean well, but they don't understand what you're going through, right? So they dismiss what you're going through, the experience and the pain a lot of times. Because obviously, if you could just move on, you would just move on, right? It's not like you're wanting to hurt so bad. It's not like you're wanting to long for this person so much and miss this person that you love so much. But, you know, they do come from a place a lot of times where they genuinely care about you and they don't want to see you hurting. And so they're hoping by telling you just move on that you'll stop hurting, right? If they could just get you to move on, then you would stop hurting and they would see you happy again. And that's what they want. A lot of times you'll ask them for questions and they simply don't have an educated answer. They will tell you things. And I can tell you, I have people all the time that tell me, well, my friends and family said this and they're doing that. And I'm like, I'm not seeing that at all. And I just did a coaching with somebody yesterday that I can think of. The friends were telling him, well, my female friend, he's telling me, my female friends are saying she's just using me and keeping me on the back burner. And I'm like, well, let's look at her behavior here. And we started exploring, and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything of her trying to keep you on the back burner. I'm seeing a woman that's really hurt and really angry by what you did and processing that because of behavior he had done in the relationship was, you know, he knew what he had done was wrong. But the friends were giving him bad information. And I talked to a woman recently that the friends were saying this and giving her this intense interpretation of what was going on. But I wasn't seeing that. And that is also a danger of talking to your friends and family, that they're going to put things in your head that you're going to really believe, even though it goes against your gut sometimes. Like sometimes you'll be like, I really don't feel like that. But you have 2 or 3 people saying that, and then you're like, you know, let's say Henry tells you X. And so you're starting to think, well, I don't know about that, Henry. So then you tell your other friend, well, Henry told me X. And they're like, yeah, you know what? That sounds right. And then you're like, Henry and Larry told me X. And then that other person agrees. And now you got all these people agreeing with what Henry said when it could be a misinterpretation from the get-go. And so then you really get confused. A lot of times your friends or your family are going to be angry at your ex for leaving you and putting you through all this. And they're just going to say, I can't believe he would do this to you. I can't believe she would do this to you. after all you've been through, and they're hurt and they're angry, because all of their issues are going to come out in a relationship, right? And all the past hurts that they've gone through are going to come out in your relationship, that they may project exes that they dated's behavior onto your ex. So that's something to keep in mind. You need to be objective and realize that they love you, they value you, they care about you, but look at who they are and look at their emotional stability, look at their relationships, look at their attachment styles. Think about that. Who are giving you this advice? What is their attachment style? Are they really secure or are they anxious? Right? What are the consequences of taking relationship advice from an avoidant? Think about this, guys. Think about the coaches out there. Do you ever consider what their attachment styles are? You should. I can tell you, they probably aren't considering their own attachment styles, which should be a red flag for you, right? Margaret and I have done tremendous works on ourselves, and I could tell you, I used to be anxious, so I totally understand what it's like to be anxious, but through all the work that I've done over the years, I've become so much more secure than I have ever been. And I had been very secure in many areas, but because I got a lot of stability from my mom, because she was a very loving person, but, you know, working through issues and, you know, the abandonment issues that I had with dad and mom separating when I was a baby, I've come to terms with things and I've really worked through things. So I've become very secure in my relationships and who I am and, you know, the value that I bring in a relationship. And if somebody doesn't see that, that's going to be on them, right? So think about this. Who is giving you relationship advice? What is their attachment style? And what makes you think it might be secure or anxious or avoidant? If you were listening to a coach who has an avoidant attachment style that doesn't really understand attachment, there are coaches out there that seem to hate women and they're very condescending. Think about that. What does that tell you about their ability to attach and engage and love, right? If they're so condescending or have such a negative view of how women are, right? That indicates serious attachment trauma. So if they're not wanting to attach, what do you think they're going to suggest for you? Not to attach in a healthy way. And that's what Margaret and I are trying to help you guys do, is to learn to become more secure and healthier in your relationships and develop personal growth. So just keep this in mind when you're taking advice from somebody who's trying to help you. They may be coming from a sincere place, but if they don't have healthy attachments in their own relationships, they're probably going to distort things and cause you to attach in the way that they would. Okay, so think about that, okay? Just some food for thought for you guys. I have 2 emails today, and one of them is just a quick one. Or actually, they're both kind of quick, but let's just get to them. So the first one says, Dear Coach Craig, this is Lenny. He already started off. This is Lenny. We that did a Skype with you in May. He already set me up, right? He already set me up on the first sentence. I should have looked at that more closely. I wanted to let you know that I purchased all 5 of the knowledge workbooks and I have just finished the first book. They're visually stunning, very easy to use, and are really unlocking a new thinking system of inside myself. You chose videos that are so important to learn and grow from and help maintain and heighten future relationships. It's exactly what I did, and that's why I said these are going to help you reattract your ex and personal growth. It's both, right? I'm trying to help you guys work through things, so no matter if you're trying to reattract an ex or somebody new, it's going to help you in either case. One particular video that I found helpful by itself can save and develop strong relationships. I also wanted to give you a quick update. Along with the workbooks, I am continuing no contact as you instructed, working out vigorously talking to a local therapist, meeting new women, and of course, watching your videos. Also, I am in the process of joining the Army for further training and self-investment. I am in a much better state than I was a few months ago since the breakup. That being said, there's work that needs to be done. With all the work that's accomplished, I would still like to start a new relationship with my ex. Although that may not be in the cards, I will continue to work on myself, which includes continuing no contact, no handwritten letter, haha, and all the other things that I've been working on. Once work settles down a bit, I will book another coaching session to go over some of the lessons I have learned and reevaluate my progress and plan of action. And he's also going to send a further email and review the workbooks when he's completed them all. I don't think I've had anybody complete all 5 yet. At least if somebody has, they haven't told me, because that would be a lot of work if you did. The second email, well, thank you for those kind words, by the way, and I hope you guys love the workbooks. The feedback I've been getting is outstanding. Join my newsletter. I'm trying to figure out a way to send you guys like a little sample of what the workbooks look like, and I would be able to do that in the newsletter. So I'm working on that now. Just go to my website, and at the bottom of my homepage it says join my newsletter right there. Just put your email in there. Anybody that's in my newsletter knows I don't spam. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I've been able to do it because it's so much to do just the daily videos. It's not easy to get on top of that too. But hopefully I'll get a little sample out so you guys can see what it looks like. It really looks beautiful though. I know you guys are going to love them. Second email. Dearest Kenneth and Margaret, a lot of people get confused and think my name is Kenneth. I've had this happen in numerous Skype calls. It's fine though. It doesn't upset me or anything. I just think it's funny. Thank you for your experience and educational expertise. I recently went through a breakup and you helped me through it. I learn from you daily and I now know I have anxiety attachment. It makes perfect sense to me. I felt a sense of being understood instead of the usual move on comments. Yeah, well, a lot of people are just going to tell you move on, which is what I really got into from the get-go of this video, because they see you in such an emotionally devastated place. And let's face it, many of us are devastated. Some of you guys aren't devastated. Some of you guys aren't nearly as bad, or some of you guys have gotten better since you've been going through the breakup process. But I've been devastated in breakups, and I've had people tell me to move on because they just don't want to see you suffer. You soothed my confusion of why I behave this way, and that is so important. Educating yourself and understanding what you're going through is absolutely crucial to a relationship and to being in a healthy relationship. And that means being in a relationship with yourself. When you can understand yourself, what your attachment style is, how you've been traumatized, talked about it, looked at it, dealt with it like an adult, you begin to heal. I've considered doing some kind of attachment healing course. If you guys would be interested in something like that, put comments below and share your thoughts and feedback before Margaret and I develop something. We'd like to hear what you have to say about that, okay? In a way, you saved my life. Wow. I mean, I hear that from you guys a lot, and it's just so heartwarming to hear that, and all I can say is thank you. I mean, what else can I tell you, but I really appreciate hearing that. God bless you both, and I appreciate your dedication of providing us brokenhearted with hope and knowledge for the future. Well, this is my passion in life. After going through numerous painful breakups and having serious attachment trauma in my childhood and lots of anxiety when I was little, having to go to my dad's house and, you know, being around my stepmom, who I didn't like, and being away from my mom, who was very anxious, and I'm absorbing her anxiety, I understand how hard breakups can be. I've told you guys before, I mean, I remember asking a girl to a dance in like middle school. I think it was like 4th or 5th grade. And she said yes, and I had the biggest crush on this girl. And like a week later, she calls me up and says she wants to go with another guy. And I was just devastated. I mean, I remember this. I remember like being so hurt by this and crying on the bed and just, oh my gosh, physically hurting so badly over this. So what was my early childhood like that I was hurt so badly by that? I mean, it's funny. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but not that long ago, maybe a couple years ago, I wound up emailing her, and she said something really nasty back. What did she say to me? It was just completely out of line and nowhere. I mean, we haven't talked in probably 25 years, roughly, maybe a little less, and she said something really mean and hurtful, and I was like, wow, like, this is the girl I was so upset about. And then I just ignored the email, and she wound up sending me another email apologizing to me, saying that she was bipolar and had recently been out of the mental health hospital for her bipolar, and she apologized for being rude. I mean, literally the first sentence out of her mouth was something rude to me. And I was like, wow. I was like, you would think after 20-something years you'd be so happy and excited to hear from somebody that you went to school with. And it was mean, and I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to respond to her, and I never did. Because it just showed me this is the kind of person she was, and probably even back in middle school. And so I was hurt by somebody that was already hurting so badly and just hadn't realized it yet because I was, you know, young. But it's just interesting that something like that can stay so powerful in us for so many years that even now when I think about like being so upset, I mean, I kind of laugh about it because it's kind of funny to be so upset about it. But it just goes to show where I was emotionally when I was little, that I was hurting so badly over something so small. And, you know, when friends and family would see me going through my breakups, they would always try and encourage me to move on, just forget about this person. I mean, I could tell you with one of them, the Applebee's girl, everybody was shocked. I mean, everybody was just blindsided. Not just me, but for all friends, all family. People thought I was joking with them. They literally would say, "You're joking with me. This isn't funny." Like, and I was like, "No, I'm dead serious." And that's how good our relationship was, or felt at the time. But obviously, she had other issues going on at the time, and it wasn't really about me, but I felt like it was about me, and so I was very depressed. And so you might feel like this is all your fault, and so you're very depressed, and so your friends and family are going to say, move on. Just get over this person. Move on. Move forward. But when you feel like you've caused it, it's very difficult to move on, and you're likely experiencing a lot of depression because you think that it was all your fault. Well, I'll definitely tell you 100% it was not all your fault. Of course, you both created that relationship, but certainly all of the blame doesn't go on one person. Two people create the relationship. Maybe you did more behavior wrong than they did. I can't sit there and tell you that's not a possibility. But for them to sit there and make you feel like it's all your fault is just wrong, and it's unfair. But a lot of times when they do that, and I think this probably comes more from somebody that's an avoidant, they do this. It's a quick and easy way of getting the other them alone. But if you feel like it's all your fault, then you're just going to beat yourself up, and you're not going to take the steps to heal because you'll be sitting there beating yourself up over and over and over again. It's better to work on yourself and heal and to grow. Personal growth is critical, and especially if you're trying to reattract an ex or improve your future relationships. Either way, you're going to win. So, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you liked it, put a like on there. I am on Instagram now. Just search Craig Kenneth. I am on Twitter as well. If you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching. I do Skype coaching. If you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype coaching. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon. I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net.